for you. You have learned how to acquire money, how to keep it, and how to use it. And so now you are competent for a responsible position. I am getting old. My own sons think only of spending and nothing of earning. My affairs are now too much for me to handle. So, my dear Akrad, I want you to go to my fields for me. They are in Nippur, and there you will look after my lands and estates. When the value of the lands increase, so shall I increase the gold I will pay you for your efforts.
And so that amazing change came about. I went to Nippur and took charge of Algamish's large and rich lands. I was full of ambition and had mastered the 3 laws of successfully handling wealth. In this way, I was able to increase greatly the value of the lands and properties. And when old Algamish died, I continued to follow his principles and so greatly increased my own holdings. And that, my dear friends, is how my wealth has grown.
How lucky you were that old Algamish made you the manager of his lands.
Lucky, my friend, that I already had the desire in my heart, even before I met him. For 4 years I labored with a definite purpose of keeping 1/10 of all that I owned. Now, you wouldn't call lucky the wise fisherman who went about studying the habits of fish so he could net the largest catch, would you? Opportunity will fly past those who are unprepared.
Oh, Akrad, you must have had strong willpower to keep going after you lost your first year's savings. Most people would have just given up.
Willpower? What nonsense. Do you think that willpower gives a man the strength to lift a burden the camel cannot carry? No, willpower is simply the unwavering purpose to carry a task you set for yourself right through to its fulfillment. If I set a task for myself, however small and trifling, I shall see it through. In what other way will I find the confidence to do more important things? When you set out to do a task, follow it through. Say for 100 days I walk across a bridge into the city, and I decide I will cast a pebble into the stream each time I cross. And so I would do it. I wouldn't put it off and say, tomorrow I'll throw a pebble into the stream. Nor even on the 20th day would I make the excuse and say to myself, Akrad, this is useless. What does it profit you to throw a pebble into the stream each and every day? Throw a handful and be done with it. No, I would not say that. Neither would I do it. When I set a task for myself, I complete it.
Akrad, what you say is true, and it is reasonable and simple. But if everyone followed these principles, then there wouldn't be enough wealth to go around.
Ah, but my friend, wealth only grows where people exert energy. If a rich man builds himself a beautiful palace, is the gold that he has spent on it gone? No, the brickmaker has part of it, and the artist has part of it, and everyone who labors on building the house has part of it. Yet when the palace is complete, is it not worth all the cost? And isn't the ground on which it stands worth more than it had been before because the palace is there? And aren't the adjoining lands worth more because they surround the palace? No, wealth grows in many ways. No person can tell the limit of it. Haven't the Phoenicians built great cities on barren, empty coasts with the wealth that has come from their ships that trade the oceans?
So, our friend Akrad, what is your advice to us so that we may become rich like you? We are getting older and have nothing put by.
I repeat to you the wisdom of old Algamish. Take it to heart and say to yourself, a part of what I earn is mine to keep. Say that to yourselves when you rise in the morning. Say it at noon. Say it at night. Say it each hour of the day. Say it to yourselves until the words are forged upon your mind. A part of all I earn is mine to keep. Keep this rule in your mind. Fill yourselves with this thought. Then take whatever portions seem wise, but let it not be less than 1/10, and lay it by. Arrange your other expenditures so that this happens, but put aside that portion first. Soon you will realize what a rich feeling it is to own a treasure upon which you alone have a claim. As it grows, it will energize you. A new joy of life will thrill you. Greater efforts will come to you to earn more. Then learn to make your treasure work for you. Make it your slave. Make its fruit, its children, and its children's children work for you. Ensure an income for your future. Be aware that you will grow old. So invest your treasure so that it will not be lost. Counsel with wise men. Seek the advice of men whose daily work is handling money. Let them prevent you from falling into the same errors I did in giving my money to the brickmaker Azure to invest. A small return and a safe one is far more desirable than risk. Enjoy life. Don't overstrain or try to save too much. If 1/10 of all you earn is as much as you can comfortably keep, be content to keep this portion. Live according to your income, but don't get mean and afraid to spend. Life is good, and life is rich with things worthwhile and things to enjoy.
And so, dear listener, you have heard the story of the richest man in Babylon, Akrad. That day in ancient Babylon, his friends thanked him for his advice and went their way. Some of them were silent because they had no imagination and could not understand. Some were sarcastic and cynical because they thought that someone as rich as Akrad should share his riches with old friends that were not so fortunate. But some of Akrad's friends had in their eyes a new light. In Akrad's story, they realized that the old man Algamish had come back each time to Akrad's workplace because he was watching a man working his way out of darkness into a new light. With the passing of time, Akrad saw the light a little more fully, and when he had found the light, a place awaited him. No one could fill that place until he had, for himself, worked out his own understanding, until he was ready for opportunity. And so the wise listeners to Akrad, who put these principles into practice, would return in the following years to visit him, and he received them gladly. He counseled them and gave them freely of his wisdom. He gave them wise advice. He helped them to invest their savings so that they would bring in a good interest with safety and would neither be lost nor entangled in investments that paid no dividends. The turning point in the lives of these few men came upon the day when they realized the truth that had come from Algamish to Akrad, and from Akrad to them, and now, dear listener, to you, and is still so true today, that a part of all I earn is mine to keep. You have been listening to the drama The Richest Man in Babylon. Before you switch off this tape, here is a short review of the main points of our story. Some questions are suggested for your own reflection and application to your life. Lesson number 1. In our drama, Akrad is quizzed by his friends on why he has become so prosperous and successful, and they have not. Akrad tells them that they have not learnt the true laws of how to build up wealth. What is your financial plan? Do you have one? Is your financial plan succeeding? Lesson number 2. Akrad, as a youth, decided that he would claim the good things of life. He wanted and desired success and prosperity. He also set himself to the task of studying and learning how to make riches. When Akrad first worked as a scribe, he worked long and hard with no financial profit for himself. Yet he was determined to succeed. How determined are you to succeed? How determined are you to succeed financially? What time and study do you devote to this task? Lesson number 3. Akrad's determination remained strong as he took the bold and aggressive step of asking old Algamish, the wealthy customer, the secret of his success and wealth. The simple principle that old Algamish shared with Akrad seemed too simple at first, that a part of all I earn is mine to keep. Algamish's advice is that Akrad first put aside 1/10 of all that he earned for himself before he spent money on other expenses. Do you seek advice from people with experience?
Does the principle, a part of all I earn is mine to keep, relate to your life and way of doing business? Lesson number 4. Akrad begins to try and carry out the principle of a part of all that I earn is mine to keep. At first he begins to find that it does work. Though he is tempted to spend it, Akrad puts aside 1/10 of his income before he pays out other expenses. But as Algamish finds out on a later visit to Akrad, the money he has saved was foolishly given to a brickmaker who said he would buy jewels for Akrad on his travels. This money, of course, was lost. Algamish lectured Akrad for not seeking professional advice from competent people. Algamish encouraged Akrad to learn from his own mistakes. Akrad began over again to save a part of all he had earned for himself and his savings. Do you spend time in seeking professional advice on investments? Do you learn from mistakes by seeking advice from competent sources? Lesson number 5. Akrad's savings gradually became a habit, but still there were problems, for on another visit to Akrad, Algamish discovers that Akrad has made a wise investment of his savings. He has loaned his savings to the shield maker for a fee, but the profits that Akrad has received, he has wasted on rich food and wine. Do you consider carefully where you can invest your profits? Lesson number 6. Algamish corrects Akrad again, insisting that Akrad make sure his savings work for him. And so slowly Akrad learns to live on less than he earns. He slowly learns how to acquire money, how to keep it, and how to use it. Old Algamish is pleased with the growing success and discipline of Akrad, and leaves his lands and properties to him. Do you review the successes and failures of your business history so as to plan future investments in profitable ways? Lesson number 7. The advice of Algamish to Akrad throughout our drama was learn to make your treasure work for you. Make it your slave. Make its fruit, its children, and its children work for you. How do you make your money work for you? Does your money really work and multiply for you? Lesson number 8. The essential secret of the success of Akrad is a secret that he learned slowly through much trial and error. It is the principle of keeping 1/10 of all he earned for himself and using this in wise investments. Strong willpower and discipline brought Akrad wealth and success as he learned the secret of the richest man in Babylon, that a part of all I earn is mine to keep. Thank you for listening. This has been a production of the Napoleon Hill Foundation's Motivational Audio Theater, created to motivate you to your possibilities and success.